I absolutely love the style of these. Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. Today I want to get into a pair of OGs that have had my attention for a while. Nike only did this in women's extended sizes. Not sure why they did it that way, but I ended up grabbing my pair and I think they look great in hand. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Air Max 1 Big Bubbles in the royal blue colorway. And a real quick look at what I have on feet today. I think they call these the Lost Sketch or something like that. But this is another pair of the Air Max 1 Big Bubbles. These are not OGs. I think they just labeled these a premium or something like that on the box label. But the pair that we're looking at today, of course, is an OG. I really love this silhouette. I'm glad that they kind of brought these Big Bubbles back to life, and I love having them in the collection. And before we get started, you can see I'm wearing my Ohtani t-shirt since it's the start of the baseball season. I love watching baseball. Pirates are definitely my favorite team since childhood, but I find it hard not to root for Ohtani. He's really this generation's Babe Ruth, and watching him has been incredible. Let me know down in the comments who your favorite baseball team is and who you think will win it all this year. But enough baseball talk, let's get to the shoes. We have the same box that we've seen on other Big Bubble releases. We first saw it on the OG red pair, then on the pair that I have on feet, we got this same box. So nothing really new there. It kind of looks tattered, and it's got this cutout of the Nike swoosh. I also like how they reference the bubbles here with this cutout section. The tag reads Nike Air Max 1 86 OG, and the colorway is white and royal blue. I went true to size on this pair, which is a men's size 10. As I said in the intro, I don't know why Nike decided to do this in women's extended sizing, because it goes all the way up to like a men's 14, and I know a couple of men that wear a size 14. I've never seen a woman that wears a size 14. I'm sure they're out there, but I don't understand why they don't just make them unisex as opposed to doing this in extended women's sizing. And enough about baseball and that box talk. Here they are. I think this pair came out so phenomenal. I actually just went for the pair that had the Volt on the midsole as well. They didn't make many numbers of those at all, and I did see some people that I know got some W's on them, so congrats on that. I was going to grab that pair, but I wasn't sure which pair I was going to keep. I don't find a need for both pairs, but I was really surprised. That pair that has Volt on the midsole of them is actually reselling for a decent amount right now. I don't know if that's just people that have fear missing out or something, and if prices will drop, or if it's just because they were so limited that a lot of people are willing to pay that high of a price on them. Those shoes from Air Max Day are almost the exact same pair as these, only of course they have the Volt on the midsole instead of the bright white, but then the tag on the tongue, I think of those Volt pairs, has the date from Air Max Day on it. If you all know any other differences between that pair and this pair, then please throw that in the comments. Obviously that one came in men's sizing, and this one you had to adjust and order the equivalent in women's sizing. But aside from that, I think the shoes are one for one exact. If you haven't had one of these pairs before, I will say nothing about the material screams like premium quality or anything like that, but they are just so clean looking, and the nostalgia that comes along with an old school Air Max like this is just through the roof for me. This design in this colorway is about as OG as it gets, and that's even aside from the fact that they gave us this big bubble. Apparently the original design for the Air Maxes was supposed to have this giant bubble with this really big window, but early on they were having a lot of issues with that bubble popping, so they had to make the window much smaller, and that's why we got the design that we're more familiar with. Stick around to the end because I do plan on throwing these on feet just to talk about sizing. We'll see if going true to size was the right call, and I also just want to show you how these look on feet. All right, and real quick, an in-hand review before we throw them on feet. We've got the same tread pattern that we've been getting on the other big bubbles. This is very, very similar to an Air Max 1 tread pattern that we're all familiar with. There might be just small little differences, kind of like what you see from a Jordan 1 to a Jordan 185, but it's very similar to what we're familiar with. I love these colors on the outsole, and I think this tread pattern does look like something straight out of the 80s. We've got some black hits, and you can see we've got some like waffle traction there. Then under the midfoot, we've got some air branding in white. And I love how they gave us that royal blue there in the front. I think it looks really nice just wrapping right up to the mudguard where we get more of that royal blue. But I just think the design of these is very clean, very nostalgic. I think even the outsole looks good. Then we'll come up to our bright white midsole, and as we already discussed, we do have that giant air unit there with the huge window, and as I said, Nike stopped doing that back in the day because they were having issues with them popping. I've worn the pair that I have on my feet a good bit, and I haven't babied them or anything, so they must have figured it out because none of my bubbles have popped yet. It's a very smooth midsole. There's not many lines to it at all, but it's really clean looking, and I think it just helps your attention go to that giant air unit that we have. As we come to the upper of the shoe, as mentioned, there are no really premium leathers or anything like that. Actually, I think the entire shoe is just synthetic materials. There's no real leather. There's nothing that's buttery on the top of these. It really just all consists of a mesh base with kind of like a felt or a Durabuck overlay, but we have this nice royal blue color here for the mudguard, and really that wraps all the way back the heel, and then there is a little space on the inside of the shoe where you don't have that royal blue overlay at the base of the upper. We've got a nice breathable mesh for the toe box, and then as you come up to the tongue and up around the collar, you have kind of like more of a satin finish. It's another type of mesh, I suppose, but it's not the same mesh that we have on the toe box. Here on the tongue, you can see it's got that nice shiny sheen to it. Moving to the eye stays and the side panels, we have this nice gray color. I don't know if that's neutral gray, but whatever it is, it just complements the bright white and that royal blue very nice. But you can see that going up the eye stays. We've got that felt or Durabuck type royal blue swoosh there on the sides. And then on the heel, we have more of that gray colored felt, and we've got some royal blue Nike Air branding. These only came with flat white laces. I can't imagine throwing anything else in there. I think they look nice and clean. Like I said, we have that satin material for the tongue, and then we just have plain white piping running along the edge of the tongue. We've got a white tag with Nike Air Max branding in the royal blue. And just like the other big bubbles that we got, they put the size on the inside of the collar like they did back in the day. As you can see, this says 11.5, which is equivalent to a men's size 10, my personal size. The sock liner has just that fuzzy cotton feel like we're used to getting on Jordan retros and that sort of thing. Down on the insole, we can see more of that royal blue color, and we've got some Nike Air branding in white. But that was a pretty quick look at these Nike Air Max 1 big bubbles in hand. I always love getting an OG, and I think this will be great for rocking this summer. I'm going to go ahead and throw these on feet, and we can talk about sizing, and you can see how they look. So I've got them on feet, and I am absolutely loving the style with these. One thing I will say that I didn't mention earlier, I go true to size on these. When I first put them on, they are stiff and snug. They really will loosen up the more that you wear them, and it's not a thing where it's uncomfortable, but there is a slight break-in period going true to size, but I do have wide feet with that as well. As far as the style goes, it really does look like a pair that I would have worn while I was in school. I love the style of these, I love the colors, and they really just came out so clean The shape is really nice. It's got a very firm support underfoot, but like I said, the more you wear them, they do break in a little bit. I find these to be a very comfortable silhouette, and I'm pumped that I'm able to grab these pairs without any issue. Actually, I think a lot of sizes of these right now are going for under retail if you're interested. I absolutely love the style of these, and I love the fact that it's something different. A little POV. Well, hopefully that was enough to give you a good look at these Air Max 1 Big Bubbles. I really love this pair. Like I said, I have wide feet. I went true to size. There is a small break-in period for this pair, but overall I find these very comfortable. I love the firm support that you get under feet, and I think this style just takes me right back. So I'm all about that. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think about these shoes, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm out.